Hello everybody, this is Gen Jeff here with Automation, the car company tycoon game, which is in early access, still in development, and I'm not sure whether it's an alpha or beta. Well, if you're on Steam, I think you're in beta now. But a couple things are in development is the campaign and multiplayer, which is in development, but we have scenarios and sandbox. And I'm going to do sandbox because they just added a new car. So, this is where you see your car models and everything, because of course I'm creative at naming cars. Model 1, Model 2. These are cars that I've made for a contest that's actually going on in the forums, because someone wrote a program that is quite interesting for a race system. So we can have randomized races that aren't just, oh, this car's the best one, so it's going to win. No, there's things that can happen during the race, but that's what this car's for. I'm not showing that one because then I would be giving away my stuff that I made. But this is where you get the cars. We have the cars that you've made and everything will be listed here. Over here are the engines that you've made. I've only got the one engine. There should actually be two because I made a V8 at one point, but the V8 disappeared, so I'm going to attribute that to a bug that was fixed in this latest version. And the latest version added something new. I wasn't actually planning on making a video today, I just wanted to kind of look at it, but then I saw this. Where's that pickup? Go away. No, 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 no. Bam. Pickup. We're going to make a truck. Because trucks are fun. A little bit of a frame rate thing when recording, but one thing that's nice, that was an issue before it got onto Steam, I can okay, as I was saying before I crashed Fraps, I can minimize the game and bring it back up now without crashing, which is a very important thing to me, but it's one of the new things with the game being released on Steam. Now, discovery. Do not minimize games while recording with Fraps. You will crash Fraps. Did not know that. So, what we're going to do is we're going to make a truck. And this will showcase all the different steps of making a car. Obviously, you start picking your body. What can I do with this? Oh, I see. If there's like Neurobase, and yeah, okay. And then this will filter it by years and body type, rear engine, mid-engine, and front engine, and so forth. But we're just working on the pickup truck. And it's a truck, so it's gotta have a ladder frame. Made with galvanized steel. We want an engine structured like that. What we need is off-road to be high. Yeah, double wishbone doesn't do it. I don't care about sportiness or drivability, compactness, off-road, and load capacity. That is the key thing. And of course it's a truck, so it's got to have either this or that. Which one does better load capacity? Solid axle leaf. Driving is abysmal, but this will carry weight. And it's got to be steel. We'll have a corrosion-resistant steel. And that is basically how you choose the materials that your car will be manufactured with. But we also can do this. We'll drag that out a little bit. We'll come over here and we'll deform. Can I deform this? Yeah. Pull that out a little bit. I want to get this side to match. Like so. Nope. Too big, too big, too far. Put it there like that. And it does both sides at once. Now, we're going to stretch this bed out, because it's a pickup. We want it to be a big bedded pickup. That's disgustingly ugly. Oh my god! Yeah, you can make some really nasty looking cars if you wanted to. Just freaking really wiggy cars. And people have done that. Like, the races have had some. Why? People have put some really weird cars in the races. Because there's player contests and people make cars and they race each other and everything. Now, this is where you put on all like the headlights and everything. We're going to put on some of these. We're going to make them nice and big. Big lights. everything's going to be square, because this is the box truck. It's going to be boxy. I do not like this. Put that there. We need indicators up front. Looks like your grandpa's truck. That front just seems too big, really. At the same time, it's also kind of like the old pickup truck that we had in the... Not pickup truck, but the old chemical truck that we had in the fire department. It was big. And the front was ugly. And I finally found tires to replace it, but we sold it shortly after I found tires to fix the wheels on it. Ooh, well, such is life. And this will, of course, have to be a big, chrome-lined... Narrow it up. Yes, I can. Perfect. Ha ha. Make it a bit taller. And then we'll grab this as an indicator light. And we'll narrow it up. And do that. And we can make that a little bit wider, actually, because there's some more space down here that we don't have above. There we go. That gives us the rear indicators. For the front grille, what we need is something square. I think this will do. Drag it out, make it tall, taller, taller. It's a farm truck. I like trucks. When this thing was actually released, I just, of course, had to make a truck. Bam. That front end is freaking god-awful. And then we'll put this here. And there's where you'll find the license plate. We don't need vents, we don't need wings. Pfft. Perk. Yeah, that's not needed. Handles. Yeah, we can't get into this truck, can we? Of course, we have to choose the squarest handle that we can find. This will do the job, and it will be chromed. Oh, it doesn't want me to put the handle over here, does it? I'll put it there. Make it bigger. Whoops, not what I wanted to do. Yeah, I can. Make that there again. Make it a bit smaller. We'll flip it around. There we go. We don't need... We can do stuff with them. No, we don't need to do that. Exhausts. This sucker will be dual exhaust. Basic exhaust. It doesn't need to be. Bugger it. Not enough room. Lips. Don't really need that. Badges. I like this badge. So we'll throw that in the back. We'll make it bigger. And then we'll throw it on the front. Smack dab in the center of the radiator and make it bigger. Chrome on chrome, because everybody can see that. Ta-da! And just zero quality. We're not messing with the quality sliders. And it's gotta be red. What happens if I do this? Ooh! Yeah, we'll make it shiny. Shiny, shiny red. And it will be all-wheel drive. We're gonna make a brand new engine for this sucker. So, yep, this is now, we're in the engine design area. We're going to make this a V8 cast iron, because it's got to be cast iron, push rod. Oh, no, we can do overhead cam. Bam. 4 valves, cast iron. Don't have any of that. We'll make this engine big. It'll be a big engine. And... need probably forged steel. Yeah, it'll be forged steel. We don't want it too expensive. We'll go with I-beam steel since we've already got the forge works anyway. Forged pistons. Sucker will be big. We're going to put the cam profile real low. This is a truck. This doesn't really need to have sport. VVT. We change the style of the stuff on top of the engine. Automation, why not? 32 valve V8. And it'll be naturally done. Difference, obviously, turbocharger, no turbocharger. Don't need a turbo. Ooh, we can go mechanical injection, or we can do this, go with the DCOE with the quad, which is now too tall, too tall, too tall. Oh, we might have to do injection. Ooh, we can't really fit very well in here. Now this actually doesn't change the reliability. So we'll put a performance. No, we'll keep the standard on there, keep the reliability up. And it will be regular, unleaded, lean. We'll keep that, we'll put that at 6,000. And then we'll have long tubular, because we need the power. Double exhaust. It's a truck with a big engine. It's got to have a double exhaust. Three-way, straight through, straight through. It's going to be loud. We're going to keep it loud. Because it's a truck. Bigger diameter thing there. Bigger exhaust diameter, obviously. And then we go to start. And we see what blows up and what doesn't. We can just do that. Because you can sit there and let it run through the entire cycle, which I'll do once so you can see what it is. I've got the sound turned down. And, well, that was a quick cycle, because the engine blew up. The knock is too high because the fuel octane's at 101, and we're not using that good a quality of gas. So what I need to do is come back over to here, and we start lowering the compression down. And we still have valve float. Wow. Real bad valve float. We're basically making a diesel engine. We're 1,500. Engine is knocking. We need to lower the compression some more. Knocking engines will have power problems. Look at that power go out as we bring that there. Valve float continues to be the problem. 330 horsepower. Look at all that torque. Not that torque means anything. If we reduce the RPMs a little bit more, that solves the valve float. When do I get valve float? Right there. If we do this, higher timings, more power, better economy, lower timings, lower RON. Too high. So we're, to an extent, keeping the efficiency in there. We got 330 horsepower, which is pretty respectable, I guess. Call it an American engine. There's no power. They're just big, bulky, loud, and don't have that much power. Nope, too big. The exhaust is too big, and this is the point where we keep the exhaust here, because if we go above, horsepower drops. We go below, horsepower drops. Performance index at 240, which is pretty good. No exhaust. What can we do? What else can we do? Anything that we could reasonably do. If I do this, that happens. Yeah, we're kind of here with what we've got. Reliability is really what we're looking for, because farmers can't afford to keep fixing their engines. And actually, if you look at tractor engines, they're not that powerful all the time. So, we'll go back to the engine. And we'll take a look at it. It is done. This is our engine for the big truck. Run it through its entire test cycle. That is a loud engine. There's a lot of stuff that could be done to fix this engine and make it more powerful, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm just here to throw it together real quick and show the process. And it is a big engine. Alrighty then. Actually, there's one more thing I'm going to show you, because I'm good at freaking doing this correctly. You can go into test mode, you start the engine, you have your own throttle control, so you can bring it up, and then you'll get different flashing here, so you can diagnose what is wrong with your engine if you're messing something up. Stop throttling. But we set it up so it's going to have no issues running, and that way we'll have a good reliable engine. And now, for this, it's got to be a manual with 5 gears. We could put 4 in there. It's the 80s. It's a truck. It'll be 4. We'll up the top speed a bit, so we'll actually reach 118, which is a bit unnecessary, but oh well. We'll worry about that spacing later when we can actually do stuff. Now we got different differentials. Just open, meh. What we want's a locker to bring the off-road really high. And it has the best off-road capability. We're not looking for comfort, we're looking for utility. Power distribution, we'll worry about that later too, because eventually we'll be able to get graphs. Ooh, chunky off-road. And we need to make these tires wider. I guess that's as wide as they're going to get. Increase the wheel diameter. Make it a little bit smaller. There. I like to put big brakes on my stuff. Okay, we're not doing any of that then apparently, because this will change whether the wheel's more out there or more in there, but we can't do anything with that right now, so we'll make it steel, because we want good off-road. I'm not worried about weight. We can put it that way, or this way. We'll keep it this, because those are tough rims. It just makes the truck look tough. Just have standard... have drum or solid disc? We'll have the solid disc. They'll need to be big because this thing will be towing stuff. And then for the rear, no options. And it will also be big. Kind of nice you can put multiple different types of brakes. And it's not freaking convoluted like my car's brake system. Not a problem in the front. Solid disc brakes. The rear is a disc with a drum. It's like, what the frick is... Freaking, what the hell are you doing designing a disc drum brake? Well, the drum's for the parking brake, and that thing is constantly fucking braking on my car. We'll put semi-clad just to protect the undercarriage of the truck from damage when it's going over bumps and everything. We'll keep the cooling airflow there. We'll up the brake airflow. Ooh, that's nice. It used to be that this... You had to, like, add the engine cooling requirements and the brake airflow together, but now the brake airflow is calculated separately and subtracts from the engine cooling. That's kind of nice. It'll be a 3-seater. We'll put standard. Standard seating. None. We'll put a basic 8-track in there. Why not? None of these. No. And advanced 80s. I like to make safe trucks and cars. Drivability high, comfort very high, off-road high. So it'll be hydroponic, twin tube, passive. Because it's going to matter back here where it's a piece of fucking metal on the frame. Yep. That's only going to matter up front where it actually has a suspension. And then it's going to be set for off-road. And I'm going to avoid, like, the fine-tuning of everything. And holy cow, that drivability is terrible. So yeah, let's look back here. We're going to optimize this a little bit. What we have here is the grip that's available to the front tires and the front brake and the front braking power. In the rear brakes and the rear tires. Rear tires obviously don't have quite the braking capability as the front because the weight isn't in the back. That didn't do anything. So what we're going to do... what are we going to do? We increase the pistons. Ooh, that didn't do a very good job. But what we can start doing is start bringing this down more for comfort. We'll keep the 2-piston brake system. And we bring this in line with what the tires can handle. And now we got them pretty much matching. Which will improve the braking power, improves the comfort, improves the drivability. And freaking rear brakes are worthless anyway. We can go here. We can... Rear tires are wider than the front tires. But we'll be messing with this graph to bring it more in line. There's not that much we can do with this because I don't want to lose the off-road. Drivability average. Semi-slicks, really bad drivability. Big surprise there. We'll keep the semi. You can see the different downforces with this at different speeds and different drags and all that stuff. Ooh, speaking of that, oh, look at the top speed here. What's the estimated top speed? 113. We got the transmission geared for 120, so we'll drop that down to 112. 11 miles to the gallon! Brilliant! Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. 0 to 62 in 6.4 seconds. That is not bad. I want first gear geared real low. This will be hauling. There. That'll be good right there. Yeah, it's not great. It makes it slightly harder to drive in terms of performance and everything, but this is for towing. And a low geared first gear will help with that. And now what we can do, we go to the suspension, we see how the handling is. It's kind of way outside the optimal range. What you can do is by messing with these things, figure out what's going to move it. Obviously, damper stiffness is not going to make a difference. Yeah, the dampener doesn't do a thing to this. Spring stiffness, ooh. We keep doing it this way and making it softer. We're not looking for sportiness anyway. Who needs sportiness? Make the fronts very soft, apparently. It'll be an interesting ride. But we're trying to get up, 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 up. Nope, we're losing it now. Right there is the happy area for this truck. Sway bar stiffness, other direction. Ooh, this is really helping drivability. You see the drivability scores and the sportiness scores and everything changing up here. And you're moving, you want to get this thing into this range here for best performance. And we're just going to keep moving. It's missing its labels right now. Okay, I guess that's as low as it goes. That's worse. So if we increase the stiffness up in the back, I can keep bringing that closer and closer to where it needs to be. I might have to increase ride height. Oops, we've reached the point of diminishing returns and passed it. We want it right there. Not quite where I want it. That goes the wrong way. We bring this up. We keep on improving the drivability. And if I change that, there we go. I want to get it between the red and the blue lines. Because blue or low is actually optimal tameability, red or higher is optimal sport. But this is improving the drivability, and frankly, people want to do donuts with trucks. Okay, so some of these settings are kind of extreme. Keep raising the suspension, really, lifting the truck up. There we go, we got a 10.6-inch ride height. Detail stats. Service cost, kind of expensive. Materials cost, alright. Passenger volume, pretty good. Cargo volume, fantastic. Practicality, 42. Tooling cost, NA. Average reliability, 71.8. That's pretty reliable. Utility, look at that score for utility. 186. And off-road is 61.56. This is a truck. Not meant for sport. It's very, very safe. Good prestige, good comfort. This is a truck for farmers, alright. It actually goes a decent click, so you get to the highway speeds alright. Use it for a drag truck, a pulling truck, or a drag truck if you want to. For testing, there's different tracks. You can do your own, get your own custom ones, or make your own. There's the airfield track that if anyone's a Top Gear fan, they'll recognize this track. Hopefully Jeremy Clarkson's allowed back on the show. And yeah, it marks the time this episode was created. And here we have the automation track, which is their custom track that the developers have made. Fuck, this truck weighs 2 tons. And about as aerodynamically efficient as a brick house. And it still goes from 0 to 62 in 6.3 seconds. Yay. Economy, 10.9 miles to the gallon. Sounds like the 80s, alright. When was the fuel crunch? Hope we can afford it. Yeah, so we'll run the test track on the airfield track and laugh at the results. It still beats my 1945 car, alright. For performance, the frame rate's kind of low, but this isn't a game where the frame rate really matters like that much, so I'm not too worried about it. Other than that, it's much more stable than it was before the game was put onto Steam. They've done a really good job, so. And it's a fun game. I like taking part in the player contests. I usually have well, for the Car Tycoon contest, I actually did relatively decently. I end up in the top 3 fairly often. My race cars are just freaking abysmal. Finally, I had a car that wasn't last. It was second to last throughout the series. Yay! Wow, this truck just kind of goes on straightaways. What's the cornering? The cornering is better than the car I made for the racing, but it was 1945, so it's hard to make a good car with 1945 stats. And if you want to get the track stats for the minutes, you actually have to wait for the entire thing to play out. It used to be that you could just hit start, click track stats, and you'd have them, but they stop you from doing that now, because I guess it was an exploit. It was a quick way to test my cars on this track. You just click, click. Oh, that didn't work out then, did it? And we're almost done. And with this, check the stats for the track. Finishes out at 80 kilometers an hour. I wish this would switch between miles and kilometers, but I'm American, so I guess. Wow. This car beats the race car I made for the 1945 contest by 2 seconds, or something like that, or ties it or something. It certainly beats the sucker in acceleration. But, yeah. So, it's a fun game. I can't wait for the Tycoon aspect to be put in, because that's the kind of stuff that I like, is industrial manufacturing simulations, business simulations kind of stuff. Really, and strategy games. Minecraft has been the only exception to the general rule of games I like, because it's not really one that fits my usual things of games I like. Oh, total cost to manufacture, $13,758. It's kind of an affordable truck too. Ooh, one nice thing too. You can bring this down. Now, one thing that would be neat, just me being an annoying suggestion monster, it's like a button or something here so you can have the hood lift up, and you can look at the engine without having to strip down all the parts of the car to look at the engine in the engine compartment. What? No, I'm just nitpicking. And that's it for this video. Hope you've enjoyed. Take care, and we will see you later. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.